Seemed pretty straightforward.
It felt like it. The only thing maybe was the time that was left at the end. So you, in some world where HooXi somehow can stay alive for like 10 seconds more, that could be dangerous, but never even was close. They just found him immediately. Good stuff for Cloud9. They're bringing it back early on. 2-1 the scoreline. They still have that little, there's a pixel missing in the corner, isn't there?
Yeah, they like highlighting that. I know that Rush thinks it's cool, and Rush isn't with us right now. We've actually got Jakey and J-Raz on the ones through zeros. But Jay, I don't want to see that pixel again. He's got the message loud and clear. He'll probably message me on Steam in a second here, but
send somebody out to paint it then.
It's like, you know I don't have any issues with this, but I know people at home, they might see it, you know, when the sewer grate gets put back on the wrong way, or a tile is a different way of the pattern and people freak out. I don't care about that. I'm a man of chaos. I don't need everything to be set, but I know some people at home do, and I want to try and be as inclusive as possible for everyone.
Appreciate that, yeah. Deep nade. That's actually going to do a lot of damage on the NAVI. Sure, he will not appreciate it. We could be in for a similar game as to the last one, where it's close, down to the wire, obviously overtime if you missed the last game. It was crazy. This one could be something just as powerful. Oh, Nico, what a flash against him. I can't believe that he's still alive, and eventually he'll die, but m0NESY taking full advantage of all of that chaos, and also the nade to take down NAVI. So 2 versus 4. How does Nico live?
I don't know. He has some buff bodyguards right there, because he definitely had to trust in his teammates in that environment, and they delivered. He does eventually go down, but that was after the initial onslaught was dealt with, and now Axel and ENCE are scratching their head a little bit here. On polar opposite ends of the map, Axel over towards the underpass. ENCE's up in Palace, and the bomb marooned very, very deep towards T-spawn. And look, if you're G2, you don't really have to move right now. You've got HooXi dealing with B. Hunter is worried about the window jump up. m0NESY assisting JKS over towards the A side of the map. And Axel now is coming back to scoop up this bomb. They still have a little bit of utility to work with here. I would say the most unfortunate factor is the majority of it is on ENCE, who's in Palace. And as they continue to creep,
yeah,
maybe this round is already done.
Are they... I mean, giving up on it, though, there's not that much money on G2. If they don't fight at all, and if they don't get any more kills, then G2 are going to have 4 alive, and that's kind of a good thing, too. I would have thought they might have gone for it just to... They have some money in the bank themselves. I thought maybe they just try and do some damage to G2's economy, but yeah, they're going to let it run down, and that'll make it 3-1 in the favor of G2.
Yeah, so there is enough money for everybody else to get something that resembles a buy here. So understandably so, and that you normally only see that type of contortionist stuff if you go to, you know, Cirque du Soleil in Vegas, or if it comes around to your part of the woods. So there you go, everybody. Counter-Strike contortionist.
Yeah, that's not bad. Maybe that's how he lived. He just turned himself into a little wheel and rolled on out of there.
Well, here we go. I was trying to think of the Overwatch character that turns into a wheel, but I'm not really up to tune with it. I know Overwatch 2 is out now. I've never really been a fan of the Overwatch saga.
Yeah, I forgot most of it too myself. I'm sorry to say.
There's a character that's like Pudge from Dota. I know that much.
Yeah, I remember the Pudge. Yeah. It's all gone. It's been memory hold for a minute. 3-1. 5th round is coming up.
It's very interesting, the pace of Cloud9. It's not unexpected, right? But it looks like they had been prepared for a couple of these maneuvers that G2 had been throwing. Last round got stumped by m0NESY. You saw him there using the cusp of that smoke to find some key kills. Hobbit lining up a window smoke late here. So NAVI has already parked himself. Nico and JKS with an info play over towards this A ramp. So they're calling this one clear. Palace is still a problem, but it should free up m0NESY now to at least turn his attention elsewhere. And he'll have to, because the hit looks ready and raring to go towards Hunter and HooXi's bomb site.
Yeah, they're going to try and do the crunch hit. Last time HooXi, or a couple of times now, HooXi's been alone. This time he has the backup already in place, and that could really help out. Nico on a flank, that's a good catch. So if this Molotov slows them down and Nico can get there, this might be a done round, and G2 might be in a great position. He's actually going to go through the middle. I'm a little bit surprised. Want to see if he can find somebody in there. Molotov, but they're going to be jumping out the window. HooXi not ready for it. Through the fire they come. Hunter's going to pick up one, but he gets traded immediately. And it's a 3-on-3, and there should be a bomb plant to follow here. m0NESY going to get Molotov and nade it down.
That was a perfectly timed combo there, and I don't think it was even intentional. Scout tag followed by the nade immediately. m0NESY didn't have any hope, and that's a frustrating death. It's like, did that really just play out like that? So they will lose multiple members on the bomb side, and the setup was nice, right? The incendiary plays towards the top of the platform. They either all have to funnel out the window single file or run through the flames. Just the fact that HooXi went down without too much of a fight. If he gets the first kill, that incendiary then lands, they lock that side out completely. So the difference a kill can make and the difference a day can make. Now it will be 3-2 in a one-round game. So a slow, steady start, but this is the key. I think if you're G2, it's making sure that you don't allow C9 to get in your heads with this type of slow, methodical play. Because again, here, 30 seconds on the clock when the hit comes forward, and that is a huge shot from Axel. Means an awful lot here in the context of this round. Bought them a lot of space onto the site. Ow.
I think we've talked about this in the past, where if you have a sense that maybe an anchor on a bomb side is going to be a potential weakness, maybe you try and go for it. Maybe you feel like, all right, HooXi's had a bit of a rough start. Maybe we keep trying to see if we can hit that over and over again until they do something about it.
Yeah, and well, in that situation, they even had a setup that was helping HooXi. It wasn't standard where Hunter would be aggressive towards short, like he'll be in the middle of the rounds, or maybe boosted vent. And look at this change up. This is very pacey. So knowing they're going to focus mid, a massive gap has been found here. Steamrolled out. JKS is nowhere to be found. Now they know their setup, but here he is on top of the stairs. A headshot comes through. A trade there, but they can get the bomb down. If they can just get it across.
Oh, what a spin around from NiKo. That might actually change the round a little bit. He wanted to do more. The wallbang not quite working his way, but look at the health that's left on the rest of C9. Even after getting the bomb plant, finally, they're in a lot of trouble. HooXi's only now started to rotate out. They're really paranoid about something happening over at the B-bomb site, but yeah, they're going to be focused on the retake. 3-on-3 now. Smoke up into the palace. They have a Molotov on HooXi when he arrives, and that could be a lot of trouble for Hobbit, who's in the back. No, not even Hobbit. NAVI could be even worse for him. He's low on health already. Bomb ticking, though. It's going to be HooXi to open it up on Inters. Good start to the retake. There's an HE picked up, and NAVI gets blown up. All on Hobbit. 1 versus 3 to try and stop this defuse. What a start. Taking down NiKo. They're already on it, but yeah, the slowed down Kit is going to be trying to show up.
He can't find the bomb.
That's shocking.
I was literally just focused on the kit, which was on JKS's body the entire time, and it was on the stairs. So NiKo picked it up. He still had to cross. The other two were already in the site, which gave a chance for Hobbit from the palace position to grab that kill. At that point, the kit was flung loose. The player that tapped the bomb was not the player that needed to defuse the bomb. And that's a bit of a classic G2 situation here, but it all comes down to just the amount of time.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
can't find it.
Really rough right there to go down in that fashion, because it was a pretty handy retake from G2. That's a frustrating one, but not one that's the end of the world. I think the bigger issue in that round is the fact that C9 had found that gap. That to me is crazy. The way that they literally had 3 players hightail it out of Palace immediately. And I think the understanding in that situation was maybe we see them focusing more towards middle, right? And that was the right call. Or if JKS is here, he's just playing ticket.
HooXi about to have a real bad day. USP, no backup. And, I mean, just surely saving the M4 is the name of the game. You can try and take some shots through as long as you can keep it alive here, but probably not worth to do anything more than that. Wow, I'm really still a little bit shook by the fact that they lost that last round. And also it goes into a round now where you don't really have the economy for anything. So, it's going to be C9 taking a 4-3 round lead.
Outmaneuvered, I think, would be the term to kind of sum up some of these rounds now going against G2. So this is good calling, good game plan, good prep. There's a lot of that side of things that we really never know too much about, right? Because we don't know what these teams are sitting there in the practice room deciding, hey, this is the game style we're looking for. These are the holes that we're going to exploit. So today we're definitely seeing some of those come into play against G2. Hunter wanting to do some damage here on the way out the door. The bomb will go off. Axel more than happy to stay behind the toolbox, and that is secured. Now, the money is here. The biggest drama is where's the AWP for m0NESY? This is his home turf. This is the map he loves. So if they can get the AWP in his hands, you can start changing the dialogue, and a sacrifice will have to be made. It's actually NiKo to drop that one across. He had over 6K at the start of this round to make the AWP possible for young m0NESY. Means NiKo is a little bit lighter on with util. And there's Groove with the death stare of Doom. I don't know, if NAVI ever goes back and watches the tape, this is how Papa Groove is looking at me. I don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah. Killer eyes in the back of his skull. Hobbit sneaking on. I actually think this is very interesting. Mac 10. If you slip up for a moment here, that Mac 10 can come charging through and ruin your day. And especially for NiKo in this position, if he dies, it's going to lose them control of the entire center of the map, which you don't want. Molotovs being exchanged, and it looks like they want to go for the window room eventually.
This is some powerful territory quickly, so they might have to try and clear this. Nico is peering forward for a fight. It's just so much real estate for C9 to have with over a minute on the clock. And the flash, it looked good. Nico's step heard now. Does he really want to reconsider going for a fight? Fortunately, dodges most of the nade damage. He's getting cheeky with those jumps, isn't he?
Yeah. Pushing the envelope just a tiny bit. Under a minute. Bomb is still outside of the A bomb side.
Yeah, which is telling of an A split here. Shiro still has time to fall back if they do find a kill elsewhere, and gambling towards B. So HooXi now pushing the apartments, trying to grab them some room, but it might come in too late. JK has to tuck in towards Dark, m0NESY from spawn, and the split is coming their direction.
They're so isolated over here. Once again, Cloud9 have found a really incredible timing. It just JKS and m0NESY. Although with that AWP, you never know. Not that many nades left on the C side, so they have to be careful that they don't just run out into the open. We know how good m0NESY can. Maybe that timing window is kind of closing now because G2 are starting to rotate on him. NAVI controlling the jungle and the window really well at the moment, but the bomb is yet to make the cross. It's 15 seconds right now. They need to move. They need to get this bomb plant. Axel creeping in, and the Molotov on top. They're going to find m0NESY. I can't believe it. C9 have found the bomb plant with no time at all, and it's right back into a 2-on-3. HooXi's sneaking up behind. He must realize someone's here. He's thinking about it. Not quite sure where to find him. I think he just dodged it.
He's just opened up to a wider angle now. If he crept in here, he could have already dealt with this player, but doesn't want to open himself up towards jungle, so Hunter will do it for him.
Still a Molotov and Inters. That's a little bit of a problem. They're going to find NAVI here, but can they bank that Molotov off? Instead, Inters going to be walking straight out with the AK. No grenade needed. And C9, they're playing such a great opening half right now. This is the kind of T-side you want to study a little bit.
Yeah, and it's annoying to play against just because the amount of space that they've been able to get here. But this is where this roster of G2 are chasing their tail, right? Yanko once said to me, you can't be strong everywhere. And that's the problem. G2 have tried to be strong in these rounds at the start in middle. They've been found out. They've been dealt with, those setups, which mean that they're going to be weaker elsewhere. Those gaps have been exploited by Cloud9. And they're the ones who are kind of dictating the flow of this, even though it's mega late, right? You saw G2 having to go for a late B info play, and it was a great flank, but it was too late. JKS has only got one and died in the site. It was given up, and then that double from Axel was immaculate. m0NESY takes the shot, it baits Axel forward, and he was still ready for Nico close on that wall. I don't know if his barrel was sticking out or what was spotted from Axel's perspective, but that double was the difference maker.
Speaking of doubles, we got scouts.
Do 2 scouts make an AWP, or is it 5 scouts to make an AWP? Like a Megazord type situation.
Oh, you could bundle them all together and fire them all at once.
I think we saw that before. It was called Fnatic on Dust 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That worked out pretty well.
They love that.
I feel like 2 scouts would do it. I don't think you need 5.
Okay, 2 scouts. That feels still a bit cheap, doesn't it? 1,700 a pop.
Yeah, you would be getting a discount.
Yeah, so maybe it's like a trade-up contract in-game. What about this as a mechanism? Everybody spawns in. Let's say that you saved an M4 and you're slightly short of money for an AWP. You can
resell it.
You can sell your M4 back at 75% of the purchasing price on the CT side. On the T side, you're going to get wrecked. You're only going to give you 50 because you're dealing with mercenaries. You're not dealing with like a real establishment.
You don't have the same marketplace.
So the CT side can sell back for 75%. The T's at 50%. What do you think?
That would make it very complicated to follow, but it could be. I mean, it's sure, but it could be an interesting game mechanic.
I think it's a terrible idea, and it would probably ruin Counter-Strike. But I just thought I'd throw something wild out there and see if you were going to run with it.
I will. Always. I have an idea for you, Chad.
Okay.
I think the reason the burst fire in the FAMAS hasn't been working is because you need to buy 5 and all have them on burst.
Okay.
That's 15 bullets a pop. Well, like a cloud of bullets coming your way.
We're about to have a cloud of 9 coming B, and there's a massive stack here. Yeah. A massive stack.
There is also 5-7. That's enough to stop it, I think. Oh, it's not. Hobbit instantly takes care of business. First scout headshot has been missed, and they're not going to get many more chances. JKS is good on the pistol. If you could have had that one too, it would have been fun immediately. 10 seconds now. Yeah, running out of time, but also running out of players on the defense. Nico trying to do something with the Eagles. Not going to be working out. They were close. That could have worked out. Inters on a good triple kill, though, and a 6-3 scoreline.
I'm questioning what HooXi's doing. I know that we're not allowed to do that. I know that it's got HooXi, HooXi's World, GigaChat, HooXi. What was he doing? Why was that necessary? You had the stack on B. Where else were they going to be? If they went A, you weren't winning the round anyway.
Yeah, I think it's you're right.
It felt a little bit too much.
Also, Kasu, when you look at the time that's left at the end, if he's another member inside, it could have been really huge.
Look at this.
Oh yeah, they're doing it again. They want to see if they can put the pressure on. Nico trying to stop them, but Shiro on the return. Haven't had to say his name too much. In fact, that was the first kill for Shiro right there. Inter's taking down JKS, and they're catching Modesty as well. Oh, the changes between the slow, excruciating, and suffocating rounds from Cloud9 into this kind of pace. And G2, they cannot keep up right now.
This is the only way they can find answers in middle. Fortunately, Hunter's drawn one back to make it a 2v2 situation. Axel and Shiro, the two you want alive, and Axel activates that bomb around the world. HooXi isolated now. Traditionally the B defender, he's on A. Where is everybody? Nobody's home. Knocked on the wrong door and another round lost. It is insane to see the change-ups that are happening here. Kit highlighted, sure, he can pick that one up. There's another one just in front of him here as well.
He doesn't want them.
No, he doesn't know where they are. And as soon as the bomb gets planted now, well, the penny's going to drop. Does he even want to risk this? He shouldn't. He should try and grab an AWP, grab an AK, save it.
Yeah.
This calling from Cloud9, Blair and Kassad are going to have a field day talking about this, because this is showing how shallow G2 is, that Cloud9 can study the demo, come out and exploit these gaps time and time again, reading them like a book. And that shot didn't quite connect. Damage was done, but I thought it looked lethal. The Glock will. And this is a great lead. I'm loving the CS we're seeing from Cloud9 right now. This is tidy.
Yeah, they're really tearing them apart. The changes of pace here is just so hard to handle. Really, really cool to see.
And the one thing they've just thrown at them right now, this is a G2 that were very likely going into a partial investment here. Cloud9 are the ones who have decided to take the timeout. So now you're sitting there as G2 going, well, they're already beating us around the server. What are they fixing now? What do they need to fix? They're smashing us. They've got 6 consecutive. Every time we've been in the wrong place, the stack's been in the wrong place. Well, maybe Groove heard a call being made from NAVI that he didn't quite like, wanted to set the tone right now. This is the game that I love. Once we get to the point where everybody behind is a coach like Groove, and they're pulling the strings and they're I cannot wait, because that's the high-level overlooking situation we have in the server.
They've been a couple of steps, it feels like, all throughout here, Cloud9. If they can keep doing that, then G2, I think, also mentally are going to be dangerous all of a sudden. Round number 11, and a nice lead that has been building here for C9. Got that AWP still on Shiro.
You see, the problem is when they make A strong, they make mid weak.
Yeah.
They make mid strong, they make A and B weak. So Cloud9 know the configurations that G2 have possible, and a big issue for Paul Modesty is the fact he only has 3 kills. A statement could be the AWP locking down some key territory single-handedly, right? That's a difference maker. If you want to start with maybe Modesty playing ticket with the AWP and 3 rifles a bit more nimble around mid and can activate at different times, because once an AWP gets smoked off window, it's pointless being there.
All right, they're sending in Hobbit first. They are kind of attacking the stronger part of the defense at the moment, so still only pistols. You're going to be careful. JKS, it's a good start, but he wanted to find a second and just could not. Modesty with the 1 Deagle headshot. They need a call on him again. He has to get more than that, and he's just so isolated. So, I mean, good call from G2 to stack up. It seemed to be the right idea, but they cannot find the kills that are necessary. And now smokes are going up, and it should be a bomb plant flank coming, but this should be readable for C9. I'm sure they're going to be thinking about it.
Shiro actually just had a glance over there, so he's called that clear for now. Hunter does fire a shot, but they already knew where he was. So as he maneuvers back through CT spawn, it is buying a bit of time for HooXi's flank. The bomb will already be planted, and at this point, he'll be lucky to get 1. Spotted now, the dink's pretty good.
Yeah, that'll do some damage. Smoke is up. Shiro happy to fight close here. Hunter coming in from the other side. See set. What a headshot it is. Jumps up and almost could have had it. But Shiro will be the hero of the round. It is a triple for him. Good to see him get into the game a little bit more. That's close though. I mean, G2 had almost nothing to fight with here, so that's respectable.
Yeah, they actually made Cloud9 work for this one. Wasn't just being out-positioned. JKS, you can see when he slides around the corner, he's trying to preempt the scaling. But they hadn't even pushed that far out just yet. And this is wild from Hunter. The second one's a beaut. The CZ, it definitely cops a bit of flack there, but definitely with some firepower, a bit of punches. We do get the AWP out for Modesty now. And can that be the difference maker? They're using him aggressively, not passively. And he's gone down to his nemesis on the other side. Shiro plucks him.
Nico, good swing, but there's someone in the smoke there with him. They've traded places. Oh, this could be devastating. if they can group around this, I'm sure Hobbit is calling out of his mind right now, saying, you know what, I've got a position here. Let's see. Yeah, they're never going to be... Oh, almost screws it up completely, but still, that actually could cost them... I mean, he gets the kill, but if he would have got it straight up, he would have been ready for more.
It's surprising he didn't just take the space that they gave to him.
Yes.
And just creep through, take jungle, maybe trying to isolate that A fight. Maybe waiting for Axel to come through the underpass, and they could have comboed and cleared mid together. Now they find themselves in a rougher situation, but trying to isolate a fight over towards B is Shiro, and the door's just left wide open. Hooksy's position...
Yeah, he knows. He heard the footsteps. He heard him running down below. I'm 100% sure. Shiro right back in there. AWP. Oh, he misses it. If he would have had it, he would have probably got the bomb plant, and then there would have been Inters running away from the running from the other side. That is quite close.
Yeah, that is actually very unlucky for poor Shiro, and very lucky for Hooksy. Better kiss his lucky rabbit's foot. As Inters now has just made a step. Now, JKS is looking like he's considered this, and he'll find the kill. So, one back eventually for G2, but it's been a very long time. That was 7 consecutive rounds thrown on the board by Cloud9. They've already won the half. Now it's about recovery here for this CT side. If they can get themselves up to 8-7, I think even at this point 9-6, they'd be happy with that type of a scoreline in the G2 camp going into the halftime break.
Yeah, I reckon so. Oh, look at how close this is. Because Hooksy ran getting close underneath, and Shiro heard it, so he was so secure in walking down there. Dangerous stuff. NAVI, here's the footsteps, but 2 people on the other side. Nico and JKS able to trade 2 for 1 in their favor. And G2 with a good shot here. I mean, like you said, if they could get up to 6 or something like that, that'd be a nice little boost to their confidence, perhaps.
Yeah, I think they were fed up of being dictated to towards that part of the map, right? So that's a very risky maneuver, having multiple members flood in through the palace position, but it pays off. And now they're attempting to isolate the lone defender of the B bomb site, Mr. Hooksy, one more time. And if he keeps jumping, Shiro is quick. He might be able to scoop. Oof.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in that position either. Nice flash over. m0NESY on the assist to take down Hobbit. Axel, that's a deep jump. And Hooksy, this time he's ready for it. Shiro trying to manipulate that smoke, but it's going to be Hooksy to shut it down. Good double, good defense. And finally another round here for G2, 8-5. No bomb plant either, so put some pressure on the C9 economy.
A good attempt there from C9. They established the hunters in window. They're able to identify it's only Hooksy on B, but Hooksy stands tall and delivers to get his 5th kill. Still a quiet one from m0NESY here. It's unlikely to see him stay this quiet throughout the remainder of the game. I'm sure there's a moment when he'll start popping off, but a timeout has been called, the second from Cloud9, for Groove to have a chit-chat. And there's financial woes to worry about as well. There's 2 rounds remaining. Loss bonus, 2,400 into the next. They could take a partial here and full buy, or they could go for 2 force buys back-to-back and have comparable-looking purchases.
What's the reason here, Chad, that we haven't seen m0NESY on that AWP effect? Like, what is it that's been holding him back?
The economy and lack of saves. So he's had I think this would be the 3rd or 4th time now, but in a few occasions he was just either picked or obliterated. Other times they really just haven't had the money here, G2. They don't prioritize saving the AWP in the same way. I think that's also the nature of the AWPer that m0NESY is. He's a lot more aggressive than what you do see at the meta at the moment. I know I say that and then you think of people like Brokey, but think of players like Shiro and James, those type of AWPers who are a bit more passive.
Good stuff. Always enjoy the clicks, don't we? Nice spray. JKS has actually been playing a little bit quietly. A great game right now. 13-5. That's super important. Him and Nico both at 13.
Look, I'm not backing up my boy Juzzy here. This is just for bomb site anchors. This is for every bomb site anchor out there in professional Counter-Strike, semi-professional Counter-Strike, and maybe just playing for fun at home. The scoreboard doesn't reflect what an anchor player does traditionally, because they're not in the rotator type roles. They're not the ones being flashed into fights. They're the ones who have to lock down a bomb site against a potential onslaught.
Yeah.
And unless they come to your bomb site, like think about it from Hooksy's perspective. If they keep going A and they leave Hooksy, he's always rotating in. He's never actually defending his bomb site. And the stat line Andes, they don't tend to take these things into consideration. But that's all good. That's why we're here. As this could be a nice peek for Shiro. Finds the gap in the smoke. Nico goes down. That is one way to kick this round off.
Yeah, that is actually huge. m0NESY, new position for him. And that could have been a surprise. It did not look like Axel was quite ready for it. So he could have been dead right then and there, but missed opportunity perhaps. Hunter going to take the kill and swiftly retreat from that position. Does not want to stick around You can blame him. Bomb being brought back through T-Spawn to join up with Inters, I believe, who's up in the A Palace at the moment. So we'll see if they can find another way to get out. Right now, what do you feel about this defense? 2A, 2B? Huge gulf between them on the map.
Yeah, well, they might have to both play aggressive for information. It's a little bit more pressure on the A side of things, just by nature of window, connector, and you can see them starting to hover forward now. So looking for the toes. Well, Hobbit's going to find the first fight. JKS drops the bomb. Wants to smoke that off now. They have to come towards these two players, and the rotation, it's miles away.
They need Axel from the middle to clear this up. They need Axel to be the opening. I don't think they can get through here. Otherwise, he's thinking about it. He wants to move forward. He hasn't found anyone yet. Oh, the timing, not with m0NESY at all. Axel getting into a very good position right now. Almost has it, but just over the smoke. I can't believe he's not seen anyone yet. 20 seconds, and there's the shot that brings down m0NESY, taking JKS next. That is expertly played. The patience on Axel to win it. Headshot from Inters, and HooXi on his own in a lot of trouble. Back here, one good nade or a shot. It's from Inters to bring him down, and a 9-6 finish in favor of C9. That's a powerful first half. They're in a great position. Should be able to win it. We'll see how much G2 can bring it back in the second half. It's coming up right after this.
Hey Future Pros, we have another execute for you and your friends to learn. This execute will help when you are taking the B site on Mirage. For this setup, you will need at least 3 Future Pros and 3 smokes and optionally a bunch of flashes. Let's break this down. Future Pro number 1, you'll be throwing one of the arch smokes. To do this, line yourself up with this corner of the cracked stone floor. Aim at the left side of this dark squarish smudge on the wall, then simply jump throw the smoke. Since you threw this from close to mid, I would recommend wrapping around cat to get to B or maybe holding off rotations in mid. Future Pro number 2, you will throw the other arch smoke. To do this, line up with the middle part of this window. Aim to the sky and position your crosshair so it is in the middle of the antenna and the overhang. Then throw the smoke normally. Future Pro number 3, you will be smoking off the window leading into the B side. To throw the smoke, get yourself into this corner. Aim at the corner of this large tower, then jump throw the smoke. Nice and easy. With all 3 of these smokes thrown, taking the B side should be much easier than it would be without them. To make this even easier on your team, get your players to lob as many flashes as possible over the top of B. And as always, good luck.
Welcome back, everybody. Second half is here. It's a best of 1 between G2 and Cloud9. I've got to say, I'm impressed by the T side that Cloud9 brought for this particular match on Mirage. G2 Probably impressed too, but probably more than anything, really annoyed that it was that difficult to get any rounds at all on the CT side. They got 6 of them. Is that enough?
It's with the pistol as well, so it's not pretty. As far as the gun rounds are concerned, Cloud9 outplayed the hell of them here. Let's see if they can continue the onslaught now on the defense. G2 on the attack and scampering quite quickly towards middle. Window smoked, and they're going to follow through on that. Shiro spams, doesn't find anything, but they're very loud about this.
Wow, speed behind it, not slowing it down. All the way up through connector, headed towards jungle, running into Shiro, and he'll take at least one of them. Honestly, very quiet in the opening half, so good to see him get a kill here in the pistol at the very least. And Nico to drop of it right afterwards. But the trades continue, and C9 are staying in the round at least for now.
That was a really important position for JKS to lose right there. Fortunately, Nico's still alive, takes out Naf in his head, and I think they have a pretty good idea where the last two are coming from. Into from CT spawn, and Axel, they know he killed JKS over towards the catwalk position.
That was unbelievably close to being the stoppage of a bomb plant completely. Maybe at least getting the 3 versus 2 the other way with no bomb plant. That would have been a bit of a nightmare for G2. But they're in a good position right now. 2 USPs, P250 at range. They have everything they could want in this round here. Good trade. Nico back at it with a 3rd kill of the round. And Axel on his own to back on out of there. Realizes absolutely no way that he could get the bomb now. So G2 winning the pistol on the second half is something to work with.
Oh, if Foxy, goes down here as well. Everybody dies. So, you know, they're not getting... Well, obviously, if they took damage, they weren't getting cheaper head armor either. But everybody going down is a good bonus for Cloud9. And Axel actually got enough kills there that he can purchase himself an M4.
Oh.
So that's one of the keys here. Like, that's why I guess they were trying to chase him down to make sure he couldn't retain that Kevlar and get himself such a juicy looking buy. But Axel, he can be a monster here. It's quite even fragging from the individuals on Cloud9 at the moment. Axel, the high end on 12. Nafany Shori's on the low end on 4, but everybody else is at 10, 11, 10. So pretty high up in the double digits. But G2, this is 1 AK, 3 Galils, and a MAC-10, are actually up against a pretty tidy buy, and they're coming through the smoke. Hooksy will find the opener here, so at least they're in.
Yeah, even if he almost died, that is so worth it. Such an important opening right there. Shots, he's still alive somehow back there. He's found himself a tiny bit of real estate where no one's going to be able to get him right now, at least. Nico, hyper-aggressive. And this kind of playstyle is something that everyone playing Nico should be super scared to be seeing. I've seen so many Nico games where, especially on the T side, he just suddenly becomes determined to win, and then he just does it.
Yeah, look, he's a very, very scary player when he's in the server. And when we reflect on that semi-final bout against Vitality, it was him, JKS, and Hunter that all went missing on that collapse they had from 15-7. So yeah, it's good to see him in some good form, and Hunter and JKS also contributing here. It's actually Hooksy and Monacy, the two this time round, who are lower in the food chain. But there's still plenty of time for them to get activated. Monacy's a very aggressive AWP. He's going to look for a lot of fights, a lot of picks in this half. And then Nico, as you mentioned, can just be an absolute marauder. The way that he's going to run through sites, he's just going to pillage the defense of Cloud9, and, well, they've had to pinch their pennies. They're down to just some pistols. Alliteration's fun.
Yeah? Should we try and work that into the broadcast more?
More alliteration, yeah, let's do it.
All right. We can find out something, I'm sure. Nico. Yeah, easy opening. You know they're going to be unarmored. Might as well try and do it. Good little boost, but he's just not impressed at all.
Thank you.
20th kill.
I'll take that kill, and I'll have information that there's one more of you towards CT spawn. So, well, maybe he won't. At least he knew the information, but he's dead now.
I have this sinking feeling that in Nico's mind, he's already won this map. It's just reality has to catch up. I've seen these kind of maps so many times for Nico before.
Who's that a sinking feeling for? For Nico or for Cloud9?
Cloud9.
Oh, okay.
They still have to live through the rest of it.
I see. So is this a simulation situation, or is this omnipresent?
It's so strange. I feel like you could show me, 5 or 6 different Nico demos, and then you could pick out a couple of them where he's just playing on some other level that I can't even necessarily couldn't write it down on the piece of paper exactly what's different, but when you're watching it, you can sense it. You realize, wow, he's not actually going to lose this.
Maybe he saw Electronic playing yesterday and thought, I want to do that. I want to get 41 kills in a match. So let's see if he can continue that form, because you're right. Once these type of players, especially the riflers, are feeling it, they can hit the ground running. Now, I want to bring up a Photoshop opportunity for everybody playing at home to do with Hooksy, but we'll wait for a little more of a duller moment here, because we're getting into the first full gunny in the second half. Monacy's big green, Shiro's as well, and that's what we want to see here. These Titans going toe-to-toe.
Yeah, I'm sure Cloud9 have had a conversation as well. They do play a style that is a little bit more careful. It is the kind of style that could be really good to shut somebody like NiKo down. So hopefully they've done their homework and they know how to do that. All tied up now, 9-9.
This is a classic move. This is a classic move out of the Hunter playbook. They've been running this for years, and it's going to pay off immediately. Traditionally in the backlines, this time gets the first fight. Orbit down, Hobbit 2. That's massive from Hunter.
Yeah, absolutely. Axel always making noise. NiKo surely hearing it, but no call coming out. Huxey's going to get shot in the back. That's a little bit unfortunate, but it's a free kill for NiKo, as Axel was not in the mood to check that. Probably had no real reason to anyway. 1 versus 3 and picking up the AWP and running away. It's going to be 10-9.
That's massive from Hunter. The reason that I wanted to point out that move is because it's something that was run back in the crazy days. That's when Hunter and Nexa were together. They brought that across to G2. Kassad, he can write you a novel about that move, right? Where it came from, the origin story. There might be a bit of hot debate about whose it truly is, but it was something that the 100 Thieves Renegades team used as well when Kassad was coaching. So we could say it's a bit of a Serbian special. They do that boost. They like to play with the standard protocol that once Windows smoked, it traditionally gets left, right? We've seen that chop and change a lot in the meta with people using the light to try and find out those plays. But the amount of times I've seen Hunter get boosted into window, make it through the murder hole, and either flank the A or the B site, it's ridiculous. It's a signature play of his, and it's paid off here to get G2 up to double digits. Now, I wanted a Photoshop attempt, Anders. I don't know if you have read the novels of June or have seen the movie.
I actually neither. And I want to do both. I've missed out.
Okay, well, I don't want to spoil this for everybody, so it'll be a reference for those of you who do know June at home. But we've got Huxey's world, right? We're talking about Giga Chat Huxey. I would like to have Huxey photoshopped onto God Emperor Leto Atreides II's body after he has gone into the metamorphosis stage with the sand trout.
There we go. Fire them up.
So you do see how niche and specific it is.
Yeah, very specific. I once played a Dune RTS game way back when. It's a really good game, actually.
Yeah,
I missed that game.
I heard it had some good reviews. I haven't played it. I've never really been into the RTS games.
It's kind of after Command & Conquer died out. Anyway, 10-9. G2 in the lead. Cloud9 not in deep trouble, but maybe in some trouble. They need to prove to us right now that they actually can negotiate this CT side correctly.
Oh, and their buy is obviously a bit rough with the saved AWP, but there's a couple of weapons here that could be disruptive. Axel's UMP as they head over for a bit of a B stack. So is Shiro going to be scary enough to send them in towards the B call from NAVI and Co? Inter's jump spotting, Hobbit boosted in the site. Axel with a bit of room up and towards the vent. This is a very good weapon, actually, for the vent room. Right? Having that UMP, if a fight comes either with a window boost or around the corner, that's a great weapon for Axel to be operating with here. They also have a couple of smokes, so depends on how much time on the clock G2 allow. It looks like they're pretty set on this B finish, and Shiro might be here in time as well. If he's ahead of the smokes, he can get a couple of kills.
And this boost over the B bomb side under the box, I mean, especially with 3 people over there, it could work out pretty well at the moment, actually, for C9. Some of these opening kills are going to be crucial if G2 want to avoid the traps that are being set for them. UMP, like you pointed out, at range. And up on this ladder is going to be enough to take down NiKo. It's a good start. 4 versus 5. Still got plenty of time, but some of the nades are coming out now, slowing them down. They must be feeling the pressure, but look at Hunter. Oh. He's finding that empty bomb site. NAVI, though.
What?
Taking down Monacy.
Okay, all right, never mind. It's taken me a while to piece that one together. That looked like a very strange exchange right there. Never mind, we understand how that one went down.
Yep, took me a minute too.
Well, the penny has dropped, and Axel with another kill. The bomb loose, 29 seconds. They need to get this frag, and they need to get it now. JKS2, Tibbet, and Axel will blow his noggin off up to 18. The rifler at the moment stepping up. Sure, NiKo's one thing, but Axel's another, and Hunter has to save. All the space, it means nothing.
I can't believe it. They actually win the round with pretty much nothing. And the setup is so... not just setting the trap, obviously the one in the actual next to the window room and the ladder room, and also that stack at the B bomb site, and it all just works out.
Yeah, well, I think they did a little bit much on that B stack because it seemed like it scared them away, right? And they did drop back, but they still managed to pull it off. So that's a really nice round, and I would say a bit of a tilt round for G2. Because the fact that Axel is just able to isolate these type of fights, we spoke about the UMP, it's almost like he knew that you saw NiKo, he was just doing pre-fire in the vent room. Angle clear, next angle clear, next angle, steps in, UMP, armor pen on that, see you later. Didn't even need to get the headshot, so Great round from Axel there, but we're back into the buys.
That's really cool. All tied up now. Decent nade onto Hunter and Huxi. They'll take it. Axel with that stolen AK from the previous round, just barely showing up. Something in his bones tells him it's not a good idea to peek that angle. Monacy's out there with that AWP risky stuff. And yeah, mid control. At least a little bit favoring G2 at the moment, but could change. A lot of people around here for C9. They could crunch this if they find the right timing.
Yeah, did G2 just rip a page out of the Cloud9 playbook here? So a bit of a crawl. That aggression that they pumped C9 with a bit earlier has been contained. Nico not going to have the easiest of time isolating this B defense. Look how many defenders are leering over here. It does create a gap elsewhere.
Would have been real fun if Nico would have tried to take out that challenge.
There's no one on A, really. Hobber and NAVI are both closer to connect to the window than they are the A side. But everybody's channeling through for what looks like a B split. Oh, missed incendiary there. Problems now, but still 3 players residing on B. Reading the player C9. They've been ahead in a lot of these gun round situations.
So that missed incendiary might be a little bit of a problem. I think it was meant to go out on the catwalk, so it would have slowed them down at the very least. 30 seconds on the clock here. 3 people at the B bomb side. It is a good defense that's been set up. Axel traded, but Shiro back here flexing that AWP. And JKS is going to go down. This is being slowed way too much down. 2 on 4 in favor of C9. They're looking to get up to 11 before G2 can. Gun barrel showing. Nice running shot almost there for Monacy, but it doesn't change the fact that he's on his own. Hobbit will flank him and take him right down. So 11 to 10, no bomb plant being allowed for.
Yeah, cash woes come in now. I'd be curious if we do end up getting Cloud9 reigning supreme here over G2 in the post-game interview. I know that they don't tend to give away a lot, but even just a lob and a question from Freya, their way of saying G2 easy to read, because apparently so. There's been a lot of situations that we spoke about in the first half where C9 were on the T side, where they were able to exploit the tendencies of G2. And here again, it felt like they knew this B split was coming from miles away. They had the read, a massive read, and I think G2 is starting to squirm a bit now. They're going to take their second time out.
And some of that tenacity that was really praising Nico for, where, you know, the sort of the run-in with the AK, bully your way through. Nobody's seeing the same thing right now. Maybe that's just the effect of the slowdown that G2 overall have pulled now. They're saying we gotta keep surprising them. We can't come running in all the time. We need to play a little bit slow some of the rounds, but it's not working out for them at the moment, is it?
I think they'll be faster now and setting up early over towards A for a bit of a set piece. Huxi's the lone individual selling this one in mid, and as he steps out, he will go down.
Yeah. NAVI able to find that one. Shiro here, not feeling that scared. There is a Deagle on the other side on Nico, so that's the only real weapon that can probably do some damage. Good spray from Hobbit. One in return, but you have to assume that for Nico and Hunter here, not going to be able to do too much more from this position.
If it was against another team, I would say maybe. But the thing is, with Cloud9, they're just going to turtle up. They're not going to give them any options. They'll allow their individuals who should play to play next. Look at this. Fortifying with 3 players towards connector and window. They're not even fighting from ticket anymore. That flash has been spotted, so Nico boosted up, but now they know where both are. Axel with the flank from Help gets himself up to 21 and has now tied Nico. So the riflers with impact are being felt here today. And really, that's the difference maker for Cloud9 right now. Axel's at the top on 21, and he doesn't really have a supporting cast, whereas Nico has Hunter not too far behind. So this is very difficult for G2 with that considered here. I don't know. I think they have to do something a little bit more outside of their book, because they need to get a pick or some space to play out a mid-round. It's just like that Hunter window boost, then they were able to try and play out that mid-round. But the other round where Hunter did have the space on A, this was against the saved AWP and the lighter investment, just those pistols and UMP. They found the space, but they're unable to rotate back. So C9 are constricting them in different avenues of the game.
I think it was Huxi talking, wasn't it, at one point about how they have a little bit more sort of room to make individual decisions on this G2 lineup? I
think that's in comparison to how things were when Alexi was there.
All right.
So they're giving more autonomy to the players to make the decisions. They give them the framework, and that is a massive shot. Huxi onto Axel, that's not one you see going down every day of the week.
Oh, absolutely caught him. And Monacy to pick up NAVI. It's a good start. Oh, you want to fight at range with the M4? That's great. Monacy will take that every day. Inters and Shiro, they don't have that much money. So, I mean, they have some on the C9 side, but this is not worth it.
And here's the thing, here's the bigger problem. You're right, they need to save, but HooXi's already in window. Hunter's already up here on catwalk. The bomb can get planted momentarily, and these rifles can get ripped away. It's not going to be the end of the world, but as we head down the home stretch here, with the loss bonus quite low on the C9 side, this could be quite the hunt. Now, it's risky considering G2 haven't built a whole lot of money on their own. If they give over more than 2 guns in this hunt and don't get anything for it, you'd say probably not worth it. But you could apply some pressure here. Cloud9 at the moment are just chilling. They're just having a good time in this B bomb site. Almost back-to-back between ENCE and Shiro.
Yeah, I suppose the only thing that's keeping G2 from doing this is the money in their own bank. They're worried about throwing too much away against the remaining C9 players. But 11 to 12, they're going to keep in it. We did warn everybody, or we did promise, maybe a better way to say it, that this could be another really good game. Obviously, the one that we had between Fnatic and Faze lived up to the hype, and this one is going in that same direction. This could be all 30 rounds, the way that things are unfolding here.
Yeah, and considering the context of this, we set it up for the Faze Fnatic game. Maybe you weren't joining us for that, but the winner of this goes into the 2-0 bracket here in the Swiss stage. That puts them one best-of-3 win away from qualifying for the Legends stage.
Yes.
Of the Rio Major, just around the corner now. I think we've almost concluded all of the Group A 1-0 matches as well. I'll reflect on that, but we can stay focused on this, and the kid's come alive.
Yes, he has. We know how lightning fast he can be. Orbit trying to make up for that one-man deficit by getting a bit of info, sneaking up there. That's a nice idea if you could find the right timing. But JKS has made no noise backing off from this position. In the meantime, 3 of the other members of G2 are kind of working the middle.
Yeah, the bigger issue is not maybe even the info play from Hobbit here. It's HooXi again. That's on Axel twice. I know that I'm isolating individual fights, but Axel's been the rifler popping off. And the Giga Chad HooXi, no word of a lie this time round, those are impact frags. And look at the pressure on ENCE now. He's scrambling. He needs help.
He does. And the help is coming. NAVI showing up. A little bit of an AWB that he's stolen away there. But he's not going to be in time. He can't run there with the sniper rifle to try and get onto the bomb site. So bomb's going to be planted. There is a flank coming in from Hobbit, but I imagine it's going to be stolen. There's another flank coming in from JKS potentially if they need it. So you have to assume C9 are not going to want to try and go for this and just back on out. And that'll tie the game up, 12 to 12.
And this time round, you take a look, Shiro still has a whole bunch of cash here, ENCE as well. Having these saves coming through has felt pretty nice for them. So even if they take this AWP away from NAVI, they will have to deal with another one in the next. And JK should be set to do so. Now, how does NAVI want to push the issue here? Multiple players watching this cross, and I think JKS has lost track of them. So both rifles should be retained. Another buy available here, but we're tied up again. I don't want to give people spoilers, Anders, but I recommend everybody go check out the result between Furia and EG if you have a moment. That one might surprise a few of you playing at home. We have the Americas RMR for Road to Rio 2022 on the agenda as well. Simultaneously, we've got multiple events, multiple groups, multiple streams, lots of Counter-Strike action.
Keep multiple tabs open to keep up with everything. It's an easy choice. Tied game. Axel on 21, but twice now, back-to-back, he's been shut down by HooXi in straight AK duels. That's really interesting. Nico now, speed change once again. Let's see if it's going to be working out. Some good counter nades coming out here from the defense, and Nico's going to get shut down. They tried to pull this. They wanted to see if they could find a weak B bomb site, but now there's 3 people here. Hunter almost getting it on Axel, but they might have done enough here. Yeah, through the smoke as well. Change of pace did not work out for G2.
No, and you can understand that call as well, and the fact they committed to it there from G2, because Nico, we've seen him do those type of maneuvers on his own, just looking for isolated fights. They might expect this to be a default, but they've shifted gear, and it hasn't worked out. Now, it's Monacy and HooXi, the 2 towards the tail end of the scoreboard remaining. Now, do they want to push the issue? HooXi's the one with the biggest cash discrepancy at the moment, and Monacy searching, has to stay scoped unless he wants to quick change away. He's here, just scoping around, taking a look, and going to be a very wide angle he needs to take to clear out this position under dark. You also have Shiro towards Ticket and Hobbit residing so passively in CT spawn. They're not giving anything away right now.
I was going to say, it must be real frustrating not being able to find anybody. You're pretty deep in on that bomb site, and you're just not finding any targets. HooXi's going to be going down. Good close from NAVI. They don't lose a single player on the C9 side, so that's good.
You know what else is going on there? You can't bully INCE on the B-bomb site because he's not an in-game leader. It only works against the in-game leaders who anchor the B site.
Ooh,
Yeah?
okay.
So that's going to be the caveat there. So it's unfortunate.
Their minds are going to be somewhere else while they're holding the bomb site.
It's a strat that just doesn't work. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Is the third timeout for G2 called now. As mentioned, there is cached, residual, drops are available. Monacy's AWP can come back out to play. That was a bit more of a Hail Mary, right? That was something that was a gear shift, a pace change, a bit more aggressive.
Sure. And in a different world, especially with the right opening kill, it can work out. But this is not one of those times. 1 round lead. A lot of the money on G2 going to be sunk into this particular round. Nice little bank on Cloud9 now that they won that last round flawlessly.
Well, window smoke deployed, and it's not going to be disrupted. Not going to be a self-thrown incendiary from C9 to try and force a gap. They actually have Shiro over towards B on his own. So this feels like to me that Cloud9 are confident they've done enough to dissuade G2 from heading towards the B bomb site. With Shiro posted up on his lonesome, the rifles can infiltrate closer towards the A ramp. You have Hobbit pushed up. You have INCE tucked in. And then you have playing pretty standard positions, Axal and NAVI. Window and connector respectively as the exchange of utility back and forth. If they B split against an AWP, you really need pressure from the B apartment so Shiro isn't just having the shooting gallery down short.
Well, they're getting really close right now, aren't they, to that B bomb site? That's kind of scary for Shiro. Even if he does have that range on the AWP, he's got to be worried about the flashes going up. He's doubting himself. He's running back into it. This might be his graveyard. He's not going to be able to defend it at all. Shiro going down. Good opening. Double kill going the way of G2 and NAVI. That Molotov is going to spread and catch him. Hooksy able to do that, and obviously nobody else is rotating even close, so they tie up the game in reverse now. 13-13.
That's a bit unfortunate there for Shiro, right? Because he goes to dip back in towards the market position, but the smoke blooms towards window. And then he understands, well, the better angle for me was where I was. And then he's caught in no man's land and misses that next shot. And at that point, it's like, man, like that shows you how quick your reaction speed has to be. If you doubt your play for a moment, it can all fall apart at the seams. Nico not overstepping the mark, so you can see both of these teams, they're not just going to be let off the leash here to try and run this one home. Looks like we're going to go all the way here this evening for G2 versus Cloud9, and all the other 1-0 column matches have concluded. NIP Sprout Faze currently waiting for the winner of this, and then we will have a better idea of who's playing who in the best of threes tomorrow for those major spots.
A lot on the line right now. If you can make it there and get straight into the Legends part of the tournament, that is really something. 13-13. And for C9, losing 3 players in that last round. You can tell. 2 of them with a good amount of money, the rest not so much. Boost going to be set up here. Always a fun idea, but now they're also kind of committed to it. Looking down into that underpass, missed shot. Shiro, he's going to get sprayed down. Hunter on the double kill. Axal again falls, and he has been the main engine for C9. What an absolutely unmitigated disaster down there. 3 versus 5, and Hunter's looking for more. If they challenge him, Monacy missing an opportunity, and Hobbit bringing it back. And no reply. I thought maybe they'd at least get one in return, but not at all.
That's crazy. That's crazy that Monacy doesn't kill. Now, JKS gives up his position. I think they know that Nico and Hunter were both towards the underpass. So connect the dots. They should have all the information right now on the Cloud9 side. Bob Maroon, top of mid. Need to hightail it back there and get that space. But look at how proactive Hobbit is being. He's reacted to the loss of players in middle. He's peeked out. He's got a double. And he's made the play that might actually trump that of Hunter's. Now INCE and NAVI are grouping more aggressively towards this short position. They need some information back. So as NAVI starts to live forward, INCE will tether himself not too far behind.
Timing is interesting right here. Who's actually going to be catching who? Nico in the right position. It just as well could have been that NAVI would have been able to catch Hunter coming up from the underpass. So, yeah, a little bit of a coin flip there almost. A little bit too many smokes in the window. Yeah, that's not necessary at all.
And look where Hobbit is. He can still really win this round. If INCE is slightly jarring here, it's going to send them fast in towards A. Big shot. Noted now. Time's a problem. INCE is just locking this down. JKS in a 1-on-2 with 10 seconds.
And he's so smart, INCE. probably, you know, felt like he could have had that last one, but plays it out slow, and now there's no time. JKS cannot fake the bomb, so he just has to go for it, and Hobbit will take him down. Great triple, great double on Inters, and a huge round from Cloud9.
That's 2 rocks. Hobbit stepping up. That is insane. That was their round to win. I have no idea how G2 dropped the ball there. m0NESY misses a shot. HooXi can't trade. The aim is better on Hobbit. This is how it started. Hunter takes down the 2 biggest hitters. Shiro gone and Axel top of the scoreboard removed immediately. Shiro's been missing a couple of shots here, giving opportunities. Nico hits this one and then just channeled into connector. 17 seconds, 2 easy kills. And then JKS is left to scamper, has to plant, doesn't have any other option with the time against him here. And C9 back in the lead, but only just, as that'll force G2 to burn their final timeout now. The last discussion that Xtaz here, the coach behind them, can initiate.
So much on the line here. 13-14. Very grueling game from both sides. If you let go of them now, if you let Cloud9 win this next round, you're going to be out of cash, and they can probably win this one. So it comes down to this. 4 AKs, 1 AWP. m0NESY, quick boost up there, but the smoke kind of suggesting, yeah, he's not going to get the target. Sometimes you can. It's a nice idea, nice little trick. Now it's not a bad time for tricks. If you have any up your sleeve, I mean, you don't need that many more rounds, so...
Yeah, precisely.
Go for it.
I don't know how they're meant to get better than a double opening. A nade onto NAVI's not bad. That almost was lethal, down to 15 points of health. But you get a double opening and you're unable to convert. That is worrying signs. I think a positive, maybe it'll turn into a negative, but Shiro's functioning with a rifle and not an AWP here. There was enough money for Hobbit to drop in an AWP. So I guess he's not feeling the big green right now. Hobbit has 5.6k. He's opted to come in here with an M4, so that's a premeditated choice.
Yeah, they could have done it. Hunter ate that nade. And right on the other side, ready and waiting for him. Shiro, we'll see if that M4A1 is going to be the correct choice in this position. It will be. Instant headshot to bring down Hunter. And that's the entire mid portion of this. Like, all the energy's gone from this part of the map. Now, they're just coming out of the palace and out of that A ramp, and ready and waiting as Hobbit, anchoring the bomb site like he has been many times before. Shiro on now a triple kill. It's going to be m0NESY entirely on his own, and this is just too much to handle. Again, C9, they're not really a team to fight you in this angle. They're just going to say, yeah, we'll back out. We'll try and play this one slowly. Eventually, if they come, I'm sure they're going to be all at once, but until everyone has shown up, it's not going to be worth it. Axel to bring him down. 15 on the board of G2, and again, on Cloud9, and no bomb plant. They couldn't plant the bomb, so they're in deep trouble.
Yeah, this one is looking good for Cloud9 to win here. It has to be a pistol upgrade into an execute, and likely to see them go for a B set piece. We haven't really seen them try that other than when Nico initiated first, went down, and they executed behind it here. And honestly, I think he's fortunate that he died there and didn't try to save, because NAVI was on around the world flank, and there would have been enough time for him to get there, maybe even kill him after time. So I think fortunate for m0NESY, but we'll never know. Timeout taken. The final Cloud9 timeout here as well. So that's all 8 being burnt in 29 rounds of play. There are smokes, there are flashes. There's one molly in the mix for JKS, some Tech-9s, Deagles, P250, head armor almost across the board. It's just m0NESY missing there.
How much of this, Chad, comes down to that round with the double opening and underpass that they could not close?
I had to convert that. That's a gift from the gods. They didn't even really need to initiate top mid at that point. You had 2 kills. You already had the mid control. You could have relinquished all of that. You could have gone back, grouped up, executed onto a bomb site, maybe left one lurker if you really wanted. It comes down to that missed shot from m0NESY and HooXi trying to trade and not being able to. Hobbit changed the complete tide of this game.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. Oh, nade on Hunter. Fighting with just pistols, fighting for a miracle here at G2. Otherwise, C9 are going to make their way through, and they're going to be one step short of the major, so we'll see. Maybe G2 have one more trick up their sleeves. It's going to be straight to the B. Bomb site enters. He lines them up. He's on his own. And apparently that was enough. HooXi will finally bring him down, but that double kill is so deadly. Axel to drop m0NESY. Hunter fighting in the middle. He takes one, but can't win the fight at range. And last to go down is